Okay, so here are my negatives for this episode, and it's really not that much, but we have to talk about the magnetic bombs. I just can't even put into words how little sense that made. It has been a while since I've seen the episode, so I don't quite remember how they explained it, but just the fact that they went through all that trouble just to stop this like this one guy was was kind of ridiculous. Also, this is only a negative now because I don't know how they're gonna deal with it later, but I'm so glad that that next episode we're finally addressing Patty eventually figuring out Barry's identity, because I think right now is like I am at my peak suspension of disbelief. If we continue the season and she still doesn't know, we're gonna have some problems.
Yeah, her being a really good intuitive cop is kind of going down the tubes if after all those conversations she still doesn't know. Like, come on.
I mean, she should have gotten the hint after both Barry and the Flash gave like similar style speeches.
Mm-hmm.
But this is television, and we got to drag secrets like that out for a while because drama and suspense and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, you have a very good point. You got anything else, or
really that was it? As a holiday special, it was really fun. It was really good. Oh wait, I'm sorry. There's one more. Where the hell is Henry Allen? For Christ's sake, it's Christmas, and he's nowhere to be found.
I never even thought about that. The first time I was like, what the hell? They didn't have him at Christmas? Seriously? Come on. Okay, you listed the negative. I was sitting there watching them like, wow, that was incredibly smart and thought out by Martin and James Jesse, that there's no way, because that is the most anonymous. They're just boxes. They don't even know what color they are. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be really impressed. They normally have insanely good writing for all this. Like the last time this happened, he zipped 5 different people to a different location. They all disarmed bombs at the same time, and all of a sudden I'm like, we're gonna reverse the polarity of a single bomb, and it's gonna get ripped through one singularity and blow up in Earth 2. They don't even identify where the singularity is or how close to a civilization it's blowing up, but it's gonna blow up in Earth 2 somewhere, so it's okay that the kids are dying here.
But we don't give a shit about Earth 2.
No, it's gonna blow up there. That's perfectly fine. Don't worry.
I just hope the writers aren't treating Earth 2 like the dumpster planet.
Yeah.
And they actually they treat the place as like Earth 2 and not just like the dumpster place.
Yeah, I hope so too, because that was one concern that after I saw like 7 high capacity explosives go through and then more kept going, I'm like, that's gonna hurt the environment somehow. I don't know if it's gonna kill people initially, but that's gonna hurt. Also, I am sorry, but 3 times, 3 freaking times, 2 of them were in Star Labs. How did no one know that Harrison Wells was talking to Zoom? How? He went through the main singularity 2 times in there, zipped, and came back twice with his daughter, and no one caught it. There's no alarm to let them know that Zoom came through to Earth 1. Like, they didn't figure out some big, we know, like, a singular pulse to let us know when Zoom is there. And magically, there's no cameras in Star Labs.
Of course.
To let them know this happened. You would think that after they had Reverse Flash, that would be something. You'd
think like they'd double or maybe triple the security, but nope.
I literally screamed at my TV the second time he came through. I'm like, one time, I'm okay with it. Twice, security at Star Labs needs to be updated just a little bit. But that will no longer be a negative if next week they're looking at security camera footage because they're bored or something wrong happened, and all of a sudden they're like, he was there. It'll still be a negative because no one knew until they looked at security cam footage that Reverse Flash was in the building, but whatever. As far as, and then, you mentioned the bombs, and then, it wasn't a negative until you mentioned it now, but where was Dad? Come on! You would think they bring him in to help him with his speed, but they don't bring him in for Christmas? Come on. Kind of Grinch crap is that? But no, other than that, it was good. So I can't think of too much more negative to talk about it. You all right with moving on to Arrow, or you got anything else to say about Flash?
Well, I do want to eventually move to general thoughts on the season so far, but let's wait till after we do Arrow.
Yeah.
Because there's some stuff I need to talk about with that episode.
Yes, for sure. This week's episode of Arrow was Dark Waters. And I had the synopsis up, but it magically disappeared, so I will kind of just wing it. There were more talking into with Barry about his campaign, and he had a bunch of volunteers, a good chunk of them children, down by the Star City Bay doing garbage cleanup and some environmental work, and a drone comes by and sweeps through. Obviously, it was dark, and injures a bunch of people and sends them in, and Oliver's none too happy, and he starts making it more of a personal issue, and eventually it ends up invading to the fact that he ends up taking a bunch of people hostage, and Oliver has to give himself in to try and get them, and everything kind of spirals out of control. While on the island, he goes back to figure out and get something off of the freighter Amazo that they needed to get the topographical map of Lian Yu to find out what Ryder is looking for. So, things I really liked about this episode. They went back to Quentin and Felicity's mom. I was hoping they would. If they just let that die, I was going to be upset. But the fact that they got caught at that Christmas party in that super awkward moment was fantastic.
That was also just a classic Felicity moment.
Yeah, no way. This is not happening. No, it's not too often you get the Quentin caught with his pants down, but in a good situation kind of way, to where he just doesn't know how to handle the situation. I'm gonna go leave. Damien Dark is a dick. Like, all of it's to an extreme extent. He doesn't care about your feelings, about anything. All of this, that whole gas chamber, and I'm going to say that they're partially under influence, but if it's to the point of where he's getting people openly to test for stuff for Hive for their free will of whatever, then that's getting a little bit more into the comic-y of making it like a cult.
Yeah.
Like they said, which is perfectly fine.
I think it's got to be somewhere down the middle because remember, Damien Dark has mystical abilities.
Yeah, for sure. And I was just like, there's the point where they're like, oh, these people did it out of their own free will. But
I doubt that.
But 2 episodes ago, 2 or 3, I showed them all eating a pill that made them want to do whatever I wanted. So you don't know if these people in the cell took those pills or not. But
that's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good episode. I very much liked everyone's keeping everything on the table. There's no things that no one's keeping a secret. The whole fighting about keeping each other safe and wanting backup and all the stuff like that. I love the great moment with Quentin and Laurel before they went in, that they understand that he's no longer overly protecting her. He is okay with her going to go do stuff. It's to the point of where he's like, you can handle yourself, but it's still really stupid if you go in alone. It's not to the point of where I don't trust you like you're my little daughter anymore, which you still are. And then it came to another great moment of all them. No longer, it's only 4 of you, and now it's 5, and then the cavalry comes. Oh, that was really great. And the fact that Barrowman got to be as Raish in the Green Arrow outfit, that was pretty great. Is that my father?
So it's Malcolm Merlin acting as Ra's al Ghul, acting as Green Arrow.
I'm the guy who plays the guy who's playing another guy who's playing another guy. We used this for somebody else like 3 episodes in Arrow, and I can't remember who it was. But
I can't remember either, but
oh no, it wasn't that. It was
Flash.
It was Flash when Wells was pretending to be Wells, pretending to be Ian Porton.
Wait, no. Wells was pretending to be Thawne, pretending to be Wells.
Yes, that's what it was. I'll never not remember Tropic Thunder whenever someone's trying to be somebody else. That was so good. Yeah, it was. I've got other huge positives. The action was really good. Obviously, they've just stellar on action this season period. It's gotten very good. But
yeah, definitely.
I will let you relay your positives on the matter, and then we'll go into negatives.
I just want to give more praise to Neil McDonough for being deliciously evil as Damien Dark.
Yes.
I've always been on board with his casting ever since it was first announced.
Oh yeah.
Hell, ever since the character was announced, I'm as a Teen Titans fan, I'm just like, yes, we finally get to see Hive, like an organization that can probably be in like all the 3 shows. That's actually what I'm hoping for. Way down the line, like there's like this multi-season arc where it's like Hive's got business in Central City and Star City, and then Hive is somehow the main bad guys in Legends of Tomorrow for something. Yes. Like that is my ultimate dream season. If it doesn't happen this season, because it's probably too late, like either next year or the year after, I want to see like that kind of synergy with the 3 shows.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, I agree with what you said about Laurel and her dad. That is some great closure between those characters, because for basically the entire season they've always had a kind of strained, overprotective father-daughter relationship, and now we've kind of seen it come to a nice conclusion of you're old enough now, you're a big girl, you can like hold your own, but we are still protecting the city, and if you need backup, I'm there.
Also, one more positive, and I'll let you keep going. They're finally using the canary cry more.
Yes.
Just like, how would she not use that in every single fight they've ever been in? But keep going.
I was just gonna compliment the action, like the action and the way the way that the Team Arrow has gelled. Like Team Arrow has been the absolute best this season because everyone's had sufficient amount of training. Well, except for Laurel. Actually, no, she got trained by Nissa towards the end of last season. But yeah, everyone's like pretty much on like at the top of their game there. And also Malcolm Merlin just this season he continues to be one of the most interesting characters in Arrow because even when he's siding with the good guys, you don't know what his ulterior motives are.
Nope.
I am somehow convinced ever since the crossover when he bottled up Vandal Savage, I'm convinced that he's kind of playing both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, being Ra's al Ghul, having that much power, he's kind of in a position where he gets to do things like that. Also, we know that he's a big fat liar, so you can't really believe him when he says, like, Damien Darhk is too scary for me to deal with. Bullshit.
Yeah, I don't want to risk my people to do this.
Oh,
really?
Please.
Like you care.
You only carry around league members for meat shields.
Yeah, exactly. You brought like 30 league members just to have them. Never showed up to fight Vandal Savage. Let everyone else take care of it. But you still had 30 league members there. And then you're going to take care of Damien Darhk, who was scared of Vandal Savage. But you don't bring anyone. Come on. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Like, what are you getting at?
Okay, one last positive before I immediately turn to a negative.
Oh boy.
I genuinely liked the proposal scene with Ollie and Felicity.
Yeah.
In fact, Oliver Queen as mayor this episode, and again, this is another seasonal thing that I love. He's Oliver Queen. Mm-hmm. He is Oliver Queen.
Yes. And
it's great that we're finally seeing one of the best arcs in the Green Arrow comics come to life. And against a threat as big as Damien Darhk. So seeing that was great. For last season, I was kind of negative towards Felicity just because I'm not a fan of the will they won't they back and forths on TV. But them as a couple this season has been much better. And I actually got a little bit emotional when that proposal scene actually happened. And now it's time to do the negatives. So no one. Okay, nobody actually believes that Felicity's dead, right?
No. And this is a little bit of because you and me have Twitter and Facebook. Every day, Katie Cassidy posts pictures of who they're doing scenes with. Yesterday, she shot a scene with Felicity.
So, yeah.
And they're weeks ahead of where the schedule is. So, like.
So, you're sure she's dead?
And, people, no. You didn't kill Felicity. I'm sorry. You're not letting that one slip by. No.
I mean, I mean, we've been over this a million times before. I've said this a lot in on various Facebook posts and groups. Felicity can't die for a number of reasons. One, she's got main character privileges. Two, that's not a Hebrew gravestone.
Yep.
And three, she's Oliver Queen's fiance.
Yeah.
And also, why would only Barry be at the funeral?
Yeah, her mom, Quentin, everybody on Team Arrow would be there, and
then again, that wasn't actually the funeral. That was just Ollie at the grave, and then Barry comes in. Hey, sorry, I missed the funeral.
Yeah,
but
he wouldn't have missed the funeral.
Yeah.
I don't care what was going on. Unless Reverse Flash was like slitting 700 people's throats at one time in Central City, he would have been there.
So yeah, I have confirmed. I'm still dead set on Ollie's son or Samantha is in the grave, because it has to be someone that only Barry would know. Or else that scene would fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
As far as other negatives, I actually can't think of anything else. That was just something I had to just get out there.
Yeah,
like I thought overall the episode was really solid.
Yeah, I just had left in my notes the very last part. Like, yeah, that cliffhanger wasn't very effective.
And the trailer for the next episode did no favors.
No, they're really good at that. Like the cliffhanger when Barry got his spine smashed by a couple episodes ago. One Zoom. The next episode, you see him walking with a cane after they said, "Guys, I can't feel my legs." I'm sure glad you left the suspense there when in the first 5 seconds you see Barry walking. Like, guys, pick your teasers a little bit better.
You know, people complain about movie trailers ruining the whole movie. You should see television, damn it.
Yeah. You're ruined. You're literally ruined. Give or take, it's 45 minutes, but it's a 2-minute trailer. It could do a little bit better. So, since it is the mid-season finale, Mike wanted to talk as an overall of how he felt on the entire season. So you wanted to talk about this in depth more, so I will let you start.
All right. Well, throughout our recap of the season finale, I've just been sprinkling my own compliments of Arrow. So I'll just keep going there, and then move to Flash. Arrow has improved greatly since season 3. Season 3 still wasn't bad per se, but it just had like weights that were holding it down from being anything truly spectacular. Season 4 lifts all the problems that season 3 had. The villain is having the time of his life being evil. Oliver Queen is acting more like Oliver Queen and less like Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And even like before that, in the earlier seasons, that was never a complaint of mine. And it was never just, oh, he's a Batman knockoff. Because as I've said before, Green Arrow is more than just a Batman knockoff.
No, and they're actually showing the effects of an island that he was sent through hell for 5 years.
Yeah,
you're going to be a little bit pissed coming back.
Exactly. But I like how ever since the end of season 3, he's been much happier. Like he's settled down with Felicity, and then coming back to Star City, he adopted an alternate method to saving the city in a way that's I'd like to say it is in a way inspired by Barry.
Yes.
And that brings me to the crossover episode. Both years actually, like how just how much Barry has been a positive influence on Oliver. He's actually helped make that transition easier from killer vigilante to non superpower hero. And I don't know. That's really all I have to say about Arrow. Just the improvements that they've made from last season. I think have been really successful. Now, what about you? Your overall thoughts on the season?
It's good, and a lot of times when people talk about season 3, they always say, "This is so bad. It's a Batman knockoff. They're using Ra's al Ghul, and it's not as good, and the story's not as good, and the villain's not as well set up." Like, I'm sorry, but Ra's didn't get set up for one whole season beforehand like Slade did on the island. They didn't have a whole nother season of stories that they capped off in season 2. Season 3 was their season 1 for season 4. They set up a bunch of stuff that is paying off incredibly well in season 4. So they're getting a lot more payoff in this one because they had to do some stuff in season 3. Could some of it be executed a lot better and there have been a lot less crying? Yeah, probably. But this, in my opinion, so far is my favorite season of Arrow that they've done yet.
You know, one thing I've noticed, Arrow has this weird Star Trek like pattern where every other season has been the most positively received.
Yes.
Like season 1 is where people have the most problems when people are all like, it's too dark, too gloomy and depressing. But season 2 has sowing the seeds for metahumans and the Mirror Crew, and it's like, yeah, season 2 is great, and Deathstroke's there, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Season 3, even though it has Ra's al Ghul, is still like, Licity sucks and it's bad and too much crying, not enough Ra's al Ghul being awesome.
Yeah, it's like
season 4, Damien Dark, he's such a cool villain.
Yeah.
And everything is better.
I love how people, like in the first season, like you said, it's dark, it's all this stuff, he's acting, blah, blah, blah. The next season, just because Slade was there, magically, that's gone. Because other than killing, he still acted the same way.
Pretty much.
People still complain. And also, I'm sorry, this is a little bit of a tangent, but we'll go over to Flash immediately after I say this. Everyone, whenever a comic book casting comes up, loses their frickin' mind if they're not to the centimeter, height, and exact skin complexity that they need for that character to be if they don't look exactly how they look out of comics. Tom Hardy wasn't tall enough to be Bane. I'm sorry, I read Teen Titans comics, and Slade wasn't an Australian operative.
He was also significantly older.
Yeah. But magically, because the character was good and the story was well, no one cared. It's almost like if they act like the character, you don't give a rat's backside if the character is a different ethnicity because they have the part of the character you care about. What makes them the character?
As I often say, winning cures everything.
Yeah. Magically, when it's good, no one cares.
But and speaking of winning,
yes.
Let's talk about the Flash and how, as far as like superhero popularity, at least in the CW universe, I think the Flash is doing pretty well for himself.
Mm-hmm.
He can be pretty hard on himself in terms of blaming himself over over other people's mistakes. Like he at the start of season 2, he really beat himself up over Ronnie's. I don't want to say death, but Ronnie's disappearance,
quote unquote death, meaning he's in Earth 2.
Yeah. But even then, season 2 of Flash didn't just turn into Arrow, but with super speed. Like he's still Barry Allen. He still got like that optimism, that sense of hope, and also he's got a lady friend. Yeah, Patty has been, despite my frustration with her not knowing Barry's identity, just as a character, she has been just adorable. I love the relationship that she and Barry have. The episode when they went on their first date was it was awkward at times, but it was like deliberately awkward.
Yes, it was awkwardly. It's very hard to do awkward in a good way, and they nailed it.
Yeah, I don't know how they pulled it off, but they did. When that's just something that the Flash does really well. They it's a show that kind of thrives on emotions, but in a more natural way than, say, the first or even the third season of Arrow. Sometimes the emotion felt a little forced. In the Flash, that's not the case. And when you have actors like Jesse L. Martin as Joe West, who is just an incredible actor. Same with Tom Cavanaugh and Grant Gustin. How far he's come from that episode of season 2 of Arrow to now. He is just improved. He is probably the MVP of all the CW shows.
Yeah, and all the crap that he gets for the whole some kid from Glee's gonna be Flash. What is this crap? CW's lost their minds. This kid's doing song and dance numbers, and you're gonna put him in a Flash costume? And now he's everybody's favorite. This is the same thing with it's Melissa Benoist. And then magically, oh wait, once it's winning, we don't care. But
winning cures everything.
Winning cures everything. And he's just he goes into every situation and he just slams it out of the park. It never fails. And there's not many shows that, without making it feel like, all right, we want you to cry here. You're going to cry here. But they're not like, it's very hard to, in a natural way, beat you over the head with emotion.
Unless you're Pixar.
Unless you're... Yeah. Pixar, yeah. So you're saying Flash is the Pixar of the DC universe?
You know, it's actually not too far from the truth.
That should be a t-shirt. Flash is the Pixar of DC. Cue your photoshops. Everyone that's good. Adam Chate, if you're watching, get to work.
Yes.
Yeah. It's everything. They did such a good job also, both seasons, of setting up to make Central City feel very different from Star City. And just the supporting cast for that show is just ridiculous. Everyone's grown. People had a lot of complaints about Danielle Panabaker in the first season, that she was just didn't like the way how she was, that she was only a person there to be Ronnie's girlfriend, which I never got. Dude. Oh my, the vitriolic, stupid statements that I had spit at me on that DC fan page that I run that are just like, what's the point? She can do barely anything that Cisco can't do. I'm like, you don't even really watch these episodes, do you? Because computer hacking is a little bit different than biology. I don't know if you think that computers and human bodies and workings are the same, but you kind of just, you're a little bit ulterior motive behind your complaining. But it's just so good. And the fact that Kavanaugh is, people, for all of you that watched the Yogi Bear movie, the movie was just bad. That was not Tom Cavanaugh's fault. He's an amazing actor. That movie was just bad. But he's good.
You want to see really good Tom Cavanaugh? Go back and watch Scrubs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Yes. Go back and watch Scrubs. Oh, my gosh. He's good at everything he does. The fact that, well, John Campea says it every day, it's really hard for TV actors to get movie roles, which Stephen Amell is going to be amazing as Casey Jones. I know that we didn't mention that. That trailer was so good, but that's not what we're talking about here. But and this season also, like you said, it's the more positive show, but they needed, for as far as Ollie has very obvious stuff that's going to happen. He's a human being. He's going to be having his limits. There needed to show a way that Barry can't just have. I believe it was Cisco that said in one of the crossover episodes in season 3 of Arrow that it's a lot less real to us because our villains are so cartoony and we give them names and Barry can deal with it easier because it seems less real because of how ridiculous it is. And they were dealing with something. Gosh, dang it! Was it Captain Boomerang, right?
Yep.
And people were just dying left and right, and it got to them. And the fact that when Barry got literally the snot kicked out of him and dragged in front of everybody that thought he was so high and mighty and powerful and got kicked down a notch and has to work his way back up, they're treating the character well and showing his perseverance and all that, and it's a great telling of who Barry Allen is, and they're just knocking it out of the park. One more thing about Zoom specifically. Now I can't really say with certainty if they're basing Zoom off of like Black Flash in the comics, although it does seem like that. Yeah.
Just the fact that I love like the stark differences between the bright and optimistic Barry Allen versus the dark and scary Zoom. Like that difference, and the fact that like he's like exponentially faster and stronger than him, that makes for a scary villain.
Yeah.
For me, in order to make a compelling villain, you need to go one of two routes. Either one, have your villain think he's the hero of his own story, or B, have him just be a nightmare. Like he can be a completely one-dimensional character, but if you make him a nightmare, that raises the stakes pretty high.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to get any scarier than what he looks like now. How dumb and cartoony it was when he caught the lightning and threw it back at Barry. It was just like, yep. That's kind of scary. And then just his innumerable speed and just the fact that he literally looks like a Speed Force demon with the whole mouth sewed shut. Well, not sewed shut, but like kind of malformed and weird. And I hope that he's just literally a ball of like just Speed Force. Like if
same here.
Like if he like needs Speed Force to like live, and that's why he wants Barry's speed, like because he's just literally Speed Force, that would be awesome. But he's gonna end up being Barry or Henry Allen from Earth 2 because
drama.
because drama and story, and that would be way too good for him to just be a ball of speed energy. But
you know what would be cool if it was implied, well, not implied, it was stated during Wells's first like major episode that he created Zoom. What if like in between his creation and the present that he has been traveling through almost every single breach, like every single dimension, and he has been stealing stealing like everyone's speed, and the last two speedsters that are left are what's his name, Jay Garrick, who is also now without his powers, and Barry, and that's why he is so powerful, because he like, it's not that he's a person, he's just like he's just like pure concentrated speed
energy.
force, but he's got the speed of like 50 other different people.
Yeah, that I like that quite a bit. Like, it was almost like he started off as a regular human, that experiment happened, and then his body basically turned into energy from so long of just taking and taking and taking, and that, yikes. That, yeah, if they did that,
how scary would that be?
That would be amazing. And they would have to do a very good job of explaining how they did that, other than Velocity 9 and some speed deterrent drugs. They'd have to do a good way of dealing with that. If,
oh yeah,
which I hope they don't, have Zoom be done in one season.
Yeah, I hope Zoom maybe after the season just kind of remains a boogeyman.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you completely. So is there anything else you really want to touch on?
Let's go into predictions for the second half.
Okay. Well, there was something, I'm spacing on it. I did not read a ton of older Teen Titans, so it could be something I missed. The oldest stuff I kind of read was around the Jericho contracts and stuff like that. And the most of it I read was right around when Rose joined the team for a little bit, and then
so
onward.
You read the Jeff Johns era.
Yeah, right around then is when I started reading Teen Titans. So it could be some older stuff. I will let you elaborate more, because you've probably read a lot more Teen Titans than I have. The whole underground field, was there anything from comics that I don't know about that could be referring to?
Underground fields?
Right at the end of Arrow, the Dark had all those people in that big green field of like corn underneath like street pillars.
Oh, I can't really place my finger on anything. Yeah, I'll have to look it up later, but because when I was reading Teen Titans, I was reading the Marv Wolfman, George Perez era, and yeah, Hive was kind of a big part of that, but we never really got that much into Hive, and even since that run,
yeah,
there have been multiple kind of incarnations of that organization, and I have no idea what that field is. I'll have to look up details later.
The Field of Dreams.
But I'm very curious to see what that is. Maybe it ties into something that's on the island. Like what if it's the drugs that are that the military people were growing.
Okay, there is one thing. I literally have no clue what I think it is. But maybe I'll think of something when you tell me what you think it is. What do you think this grand hoopla MacGuffin that they're searching for on Lian Yu that no one knows exists except for Ryder?
I have a feeling it's got to be something. It's got to be something that Thanagarian, because I could have sworn I could have sworn the episode when Constantine appeared, it was I forget the name of the item, that orb, but I think that was the same. It was the name of something very similar to like the staff from the crossover. Let me look that up really quick.
Something else I got to look up too about Ryder that I'm thinking of. Trying to think of the as Baron Ryder. Yes. Okay, hold on. There was something about him that I looked up after that whole hoopla happened with how they're having a black character play
Horus, the staff of Horus.
Oh yeah, the thing they used in the crossover.
Yeah,
yeah. So
if I remember correctly, I think what that artifact that Constantine found in that episode of Arrow was the orb of Horus.
Yes.
So that's why I'm led to believe that whatever's on the NU has to be something Thanagarian, or I don't know. That's just my guess, because if not, then why would that be one of the artifacts that Constantine finds? Hello? Shit. Where the fuck am I?